host, Steve Grubbs.
Well, thank you very much, and a very pleasant good evening to you all. It is the Cougar Basketball Hour, and with us it is the head coach of Washington State University basketball, Kamie Ethridge, as it's a very nice week to be a Cougar, as the Washington State University men went and took care of business in L.A., got a huge win on Saturday, and then Washington State University women over in Seattle yesterday, picking up a big win over the Washington Huskies. First of all, Coach, welcome back to Zuppos. Welcome back to the Cougar Basketball Hour. Thank you to the fans for braving the cold and coming out and visiting us here at Zuppos. Awesome. How about that? How about a big win, and how about another Cougar Basketball Hour?
Well, shout out to Kyle and the men's team and USC win, and then beating Arizona. We were a little bit delayed getting into Seattle and got a chance to watch the end of that game, and just phenomenal. The fans, I mean, it just goes to show you what happens when you can create a big-time home environment. Just happy for those guys, and I text Kyle back and forth. It's like I'm chasing him now. I'm hoping that I could just keep up, and it was just nice to get a win, obviously, against our rival in Apple Cup and beat UW over in Seattle.
Interesting, because, again, can you feed off one another's program inside the athletic department and inside the halls, and when one program's going to go, can you kind of feed off one another with Washington State University athletics and things like that? I think you can, can't you?
Yeah, no question. I mean, everybody helps each other, and there's so many times I run into Jake, and so supportive, and everybody follows each other. And yes, we're all in our own worlds and can't be there constantly, but just know what's going on and know what you're feeling at any given time. If you've lost a game, they know what you're feeling. If you're on a big win, they're happy for you. Clearly just a great camaraderie. I have so much respect for. It all starts with Pat Chun and the people that he's hiring. And they're a great group to bounce things off of. Obviously, Kyle, his wife, Katie, if you don't know her, she's my best text buddy back and forth. I mean, she sends me texts after every games about everything that's gone on, including officials and what we need to fix on our side of the game. So just great support within our athletic department.
Again, yesterday you knock off the Washington Huskies 72-59, pick up your first Pac-12 conference victory. Huge win in Seattle. You've obviously had success in Seattle in the past. Able to sing that fight song at Alaska Airlines Arena, nothing quite like that with the Cougar contingent that comes on. Just your overall, just first impression of a win in Seattle and the way you guys were able to get it done yesterday.
Well, the first impression is that last impression, which is the number of Coug fans that were there. And stayed. I mean, everybody else got out of that arena, and the Cougs stayed, and we had a great rendition of the fight song, and we had a really good group of Coug fans there. So proud of our team and how we responded. Obviously, just got kind of smacked in the face again against a well-coached, disciplined team of UW. We made a lot of mistakes in the first quarter, things that we were trying to take away. We actually gave them, and they made us pay for it. But I love the team's response, locking in, had a great second quarter, obviously going to the halftime and almost, honestly controlled the game pretty much from the second quarter on and defended it just fantastic, made things a lot really hard. Things that we haven't always been great at, offensive rebounding and second chance points. We just dominate that percentage. We shoot 50% for the game. We really made some big hard shots. We finished having so many people in double figures. There's just a lot of things to be proud about our team, and again, I think a springboard for what we need to be successful in this league.
And you talked about it a little bit last week, that this was going to be an important 2 weeks for us as we started off 0-3 in the conference, and we had this game against the Huskies, and we know how tough this conference is going to be, and now you finally get a chance to play at Beasley Coliseum coming up this weekend to try and pile some victories up, to try and get back towards 500 and get back in the middle of the conference, and then try and assault the top half of the conference. That was a big win for the program, just simply because we needed a win to get our first of the season.
Yeah. It's terrible to be, 0-3 or 0 in anything, and to get into the win column is big. And there are different. Everybody's a challenge in the league, but certainly there are stretches that are just, like climbing Mount Everest. There are teams and top 5 teams and top 10 teams, and you can get them back to back, and you can either have them at home or on the road. So unfortunate that we lost that one at home with UW early in December. Had to get this one, had to respond the right way, and now it's just like we've got to fight for our lives. And, two teams coming in here that we're right with, neck and neck, and, we have to find ways to separate ourselves from, whoever's below us and try to fight and get over some people above us, because they're going to be hard for everyone week in and week out to climb the standings, and so many great teams. So big weekend. We got this one. I said that 2 weeks of, I can't imagine a 2-week period that was more important for us. Got this one, have had really good practices, and now we got to lock in and be great against Arizona State and Arizona.
Arizona State coming into town Friday night. Then on Sunday it will be the Arizona Wildcats. First chance for our home fans to watch action since all the way back on December the 17th. So make your way out to Beasley Coliseum this weekend when we get ready for Arizona and Arizona State. We'll talk about those two teams. We'll talk about the conference and the way things are shaking out. And obviously, as you mentioned, just big-time battles up and down the conference every single week. We'll talk about the upcoming week. If you've got questions for the coach, and we've already got a couple, go ahead and write them on down and bring them up to the table. Kamie's going to answer your questions if you want to, and we'll spend an hour talking Cougar basketball, and it's never better than after a win over the Huskies in Seattle.
Oh, let's go.
Again, the Cougars over the Huskies 72-59, and we'll talk some of the details of that big win coming up next. Again, me and Kamie. Cougar Basketball Hour from Zeppos. It's Cougar Basketball Hour on Learfield.
Spokane International Airport is a proud sponsor of Washington State University Athletics. The airport connects Cougar fans and alums with over 50 daily departures to 18 nonstop destinations provided by 6 major airlines, as well as one-stop connections to most major metropolitan centers throughout the U.S. Real-time arrival and flight departure information is available at SpokaneAirports.net. Spokane International Airport, when it's time to fly.
The tradition, the rivalries. SiriusXM is your destination for all things college sports, and we've got you covered. On Pac-12 Radio, there is complete coverage of every school in the conference, including live games, plus 24/7 talk and analysis. So cheer along on the SiriusXM app and listen to your favorite team anywhere. And now you can get 3 months of SiriusXM free. Subscribe now. See offer details at SiriusXM.com/Pac-12 Sports.
There's so much to do and see here at Washington State University Pullman, and we at the Braulsford WSU Visitor Center are here to help. And we love to help. So start your visit with us, and our team of Cougs will share insider tips on the best places to eat or where to catch a stunning view of the Palouse. We'll show you where to park, how to get to your destination, connect you to on-campus resources. So for a better visitor experience, start right here at the Braulsford WSU Visitor Center on the corner of Main and Spring Streets near downtown Pullman.
While you're out and about on the Palouse, be sure to stop by Tick Clock Drug for their holiday open house November 9th, 10th, and 11th. You'll save 20%. When you're traveling on the Palouse, make sure you stop in Colfax. Colfax is home to great businesses like Pomeroy Grain Growers. For all your crop marketing needs, contact Brian or Eric. You're in good hands at Pomeroy Grain Growers. If you're considering assisted living needs, consider the Courtyard at Colfax, where it's always a wonderful way to live. And for all your gift-giving needs, Tick Clock Drug has the best selection on the Palouse.
Well, it is the Cougar Basketball Hour. Again, Steve Grubbs along with Cougar head coach Kamie Ethridge, as we do welcome you back here live from Zeppos. Glad to have you with us on News Talk from the Palouse, and glad to have you with us here from Zeppos. Again, Coach, a 72-59 victory over the Washington Huskies yesterday, and you mentioned kind of getting punched in the mouth in the opening quarter. We're down 18-11, down as many as 10 in that opening quarter, but you come back in the second quarter, and it was a couple of your younger players, your bench players, that helped spur that comeback. Couple of huge threes from Jenna Villa. She, of course, is from Arlington, Washington, on that side of the state. Looked a little jittery with her first couple of shots, but then drains an open three, and I love that we found her on a set play, because it gave her that confidence that, okay, everything's okay again. She hits her next open three. Kira Gardner hits a three. All of a sudden we have the lead, and again, we kind of took off from there. And talk about your bench and the way they spurred that comeback in the second quarter.
Well, again, I thought the first quarter we put the bench in, and no one really responded the right way. And it was all, we had our bigs lunge. and then they drove by us, and we call them nines. Like in the men's game, a 9 would be a dunk, and we're trying to make them make hard twos, and we gave them like basically layups. Bella didn't go out and challenge Lele, which we wanted to, so it was just a wide open shot. So and then we sucked in on again off of a drive and gave up a 3. I mean, everything we said we're not doing it. We did in the first quarter.
Right.
And that was young players, old players. That was everybody, and it was really just. At least we scored 11 points. The first time out we scored 2 points in the first quarter, so we upgraded there. But after that, I mean, they scored 8. Is that right? 8 in the second quarter. I mean, talk about just locked in, just guarded them the way we wanted to guard them. And I think the big key was not giving them threes, and just challenging a lot of shots. And then offensively, we did. We got some easy baskets because of transition. We found Jenna in a trans, I think, one time on a out-of-bounds play. We found her. Kira made a really hard shot in her offense. LA was fantastic so much of the time. And we just started getting more and more established in the post. And that came from, some Bella, some B was phenomenal. I think she's here tonight and going to talk to us. She was phenomenal for pretty much the entire game. And I think just getting that easy baskets in the paint, some of those putbacks in the paint, second chance points, some of those things that we dominated the game in, it just built on some of the momentum that we carried in that second quarter. But I think it all started with the defensive end. We locked in on the defensive end. Their shots became much more difficult, and our team really found a way. 5 people in double figures. That's what I'm most happy about, and that's not including Charlize, who's at 8 or 9, and I think someone else is at 8 or 9. So a lot of people right at 10. We get that many people in double figures, we're going to be in great shape.
You mentioned Beyonce, 6 out of 7 from the floor, 12 points, 10 rebounds. Her first double-double as a Cougar. Obviously had so many as an Idaho Vandal, and just, again, back to full force. And what have you seen out of her out of the last 2 weeks, and what do you see out of her on Sunday?
Well, I mean, I try to meet with our players every couple of weeks and just encourage more than anything. A lot of times it might be a little bit of get on, but not too much. And for B, it's more encouragement. Like we need her to have a green light. We need her to have confidence in her shots. We need her to take 10, 15 shots a game. And I think she's such a perfectionist, and she wants us to win, and she doesn't care what she gets. She just wants us to win. And I think she puts a lot of pressure on herself to be so perfect. And, just getting her to relax a little bit, take those shots that come, and then get some easy points on the boards. And she did that. 4 offensive rebounds. I think she was a big key to getting some easy baskets. And if she didn't score it, she got us someone else easy baskets. That is just a part of the game that we really haven't been great at. It's something she excels at. Again, her work ethic, her blue collar, and her competitiveness really showed out in this game. I think she was a big difference maker for us. That's why she played so many minutes and again, was really effective the entire game.
You mentioned Ella Villa ends up going 35 minutes, 16 points to lead the way in the scoring column. But I think what you're even more happier, especially as a guard that played this game at the quality of level you played this game, no turnovers in 35 minutes against your rival.
Love it. I love that stat. LA is just, again, it's awful when if you think of AT, it's a terrible detriment for her to be out with an injury. But if you change that narrative, it gives us chances for other people to step up and become a little bit more effective and have to have the pressure of handling the ball, making the decisions, being more of a playmaker. LA has stepped into that role. I thought this game was really a growing up period. I think Lori Kane, my associate head coach, this was her scout, and she said LA did not have a great game. A lot of us didn't against UW the first time, and I mean she was pretty spectacular in this game. The playmaking, the not turning it over, and then the shot making. Gosh, her runners, it was just daggers in UW when they thought they were getting close, and she would make a basket. Just so impressed and locked in on defense. She didn't make mistakes on the defensive end. So it's amazing what she picks up for a person that you'd almost think she's not great at English, but she doesn't miss a thing when she's listening and learning about a scout. A phenomenal player, and again, just happy kid, and just loving this experience of being over here.
You mentioned AT being out, and with her being out, obviously it falls to LA and it falls to Charlize when it comes to being the point. And Charlize, not the eye-popping numbers, 8 points, 5 rebounds. They gave her 5 assists. By the way, she needed to have 6 because I don't know if you remember that spectacular out-of-bounds save that she had and saved it into LA. We got the bucket off that. They didn't give her an assist on that.
That should have been an assist.
How did they not get an assist on that? But, I mean, 8, 5, and 5, and people go, yeah. But still plus 15, the best number on our team when it comes to plus-minus category when she's on the court.
Yeah.
Shows a little bit of what she's about.
You just can't. I mean, words can't describe.
And black and white doesn't describe it either when it comes to Charlotte.
It really does. And, I mean, obviously, her shooting percentage, it's going to come and go maybe a little bit. I think it'll continue to get better and better and more consistent. I keep saying it. I'm never worried about her. I'm more worried about everybody around her so that she doesn't have to be superwoman every time she steps on the court. But she really is in the IQ part of the game, in the scout part of the game, in the leadership part of the game, in the playing the 4 spot, the 3 spot, the 2 spot, the 1 spot. You know, she's got to be on the court or LA at all times because of our ball handling situations. That play, nobody would make that play. No one could save the ball with the strength factor, the IQ factor, all the way across the court and know that that's where LA was. I think she knew it for a fact, and she got it there. Just she's a phenomenal player, phenomenal leader. Again, we just need her to consistently look for her shot. I still think there's points out there for her to have. She's getting great looks. She needs to shoot the shots that are there. And again, as that continues to grow, her comfort level of what she needs to take and how to continue to use, be a decision maker in our offense, we're going to continue. The big number is we scored 72 on the road. We keep saying that. So she's a big part of that. Taking care of the basketball is a big part of that. And so I think this is a big step for our entire team to grow from.
Yeah, you mentioned the 72, so 61 in the final 3 quarters. And the thing that I think I kind of glossed over in the post-game show, you held them to 41 points in the final 3 quarters. Your defense was pretty good throughout that entire contest.
I knew it was good. I just didn't do the math that you just did. That's good to know, 41 out of those 3 quarters now that I know that. So absolutely. Again, that was the thing, giving up 18 that first quarter. I just felt like we were in such control defensively. Got them deep into the shot clock a lot. And they can make some of those, but we really guarded it well. We rebounded the ball well. And again, we didn't give them the things they were looking to get. We were really locked in. So it's a good thing for our team. They're smart. They're high IQ. Clearly we were motivated to be a better basketball team than the first time we played them.
Yeah, outside of Lele Daniels, who you talked about, and she's going to get hers. She had 23. We didn't give up much in the second half.
No. I really don't. I can't really remember. There were a couple of shots that I just go, oh my gosh, that's a little scary that we gave that look, but they missed it. But again, Lele was their main player. They ISO'd her a little bit, but when you lock down everybody else, it's hard for one player to beat you.
Absolutely. Again, Cougars knock off the Huskies 72-59. We'll continue talking with Kamie Ethridge. I think we'll have a player up here as well. Got some questions we'll get to the coach as the show goes on. Again, we're just getting things started more or less a third of the way through. It's a Cougar Basketball Hour from Zeppos from Learfield.
Nothing works up an appetite like cheering for your Cougs on game day. So why not cheer them on at Northern Quest with an impressive roster of restaurants and lounges? You can tackle the menu at Epic and catch every play on the 10 by 30-foot screen. Or grab a steak at Maslow's, a fine cigar at Legends of Fire, even a burger from Fat Burger. For your inner linebacker. See more at northernquest.com. Go Cougs!
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppos. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppos is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppos.
Close, convenient, connected. The Pullman-Moscow Regional Airport and Alaska Air get you where you want to go. And with Alaska's One World Alliance, that's just about anywhere. With multiple flights to Seattle most days, plus one to Boise, that's another reason to use PUW to get you home. By the time you're winding your way through Washtuckna on 26 or Winchester on 95. You'll be in Seattle or Boise. Save on gas, higher parking fees, and your time. Fly PUW, the Pullman-Moscow Regional Airport, your Cougar and Alaska hometown airport.
This Washington State University sports broadcast is brought to you in part by Pullman Regional Hospital, the official hospital of Washington State Athletics. The combined expertise of our university and our award-winning hospital are being deployed to provide greater access to resources, education, employment opportunities, and innovations to improve health care and health outcomes for all of us. Learn more at pullmanregional.org. Pullman Regional Hospital and Washington State, partners in excellence.
Well, Steve Grubbs, welcome back here. It is your Cougar Basketball Hour. Kamie Ethridge has departed, and making her way up to the stage is going to be Beyonce B, the grad transfer from the University of Idaho and Washington native out of Washougal, Washington, as we welcome her to the Cougar Basketball Hour. And I think our first time to actually talk with one another on the air. Beyonce, first of all, how are you doing? How are your holidays? And welcome into the Cougar Basketball Hour.
Thank you. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. Again, new team. How much adjustment period is that when you get going? As you obviously had your time over Moscow and a very successful career over at the University of Idaho, and then you make the decision to transfer over to Washington State, and as you adjust to a new team and new teammates, what's that like when you are in that adjustment period?
Yeah, no, definitely, it's hard to adjust at the start, but it's honestly been pretty smooth transition for me. I think being so close to where I was has helped, and still living with my sister too has been awesome. But the team was great. I mean, the coaching staff is awesome here, and they welcomed me right away, so that was pretty easy, honestly, to transition to them.
And a chance to jump right in and join a team that had gone to the NCAA tournament, and obviously that was probably part of your reason to transferring, and your thought being a Washington native, again from Washougal, to play now for Washington State University to wrap up your collegiate career.
Yeah, staying in state was a pretty easy choice for me, and I love the area, and being able to join a team that has had a lot of success and has gotten better every single year was definitely something I was looking forward to.
What I really like about watching you when it comes to basketball is just kind of watching your thought process as the play goes on, because you seem to always be one step ahead of me and maybe one step ahead of others as well, and that's what's made you successful. Talk about let's start first with the defensive side of the basketball. What goes into your thought process when it comes to, okay, somebody's posting up on you, can you kind of take us a little bit through that as far as how you prepare defensively to be what you can be, the best defensively that you are?
Yeah, I mean, defense is something I definitely, take pride in, and always one-on-one, you want to get that stop, and I think for me it's just knowing what that person, does most of the time, knowing what they like to do so that you can be prepared for that. But also just being really strong down low too, and forcing them to shoot over you, to make tough shots without fouling, and that's the biggest thing, honestly. And then just staying low and not going for fakes. That's probably something I still need to work on, but yeah.
Does the scout help with that? I'm sure it does. And then how much, when it comes to the scout, have you learned from maybe when you first started playing collegiate basketball to where you are now, to how important it is to prepare in the week prior before you get ready to go up against some of the premier post players and now the country and the Pac-12 conference?
Yeah, the scout is super important. Freshman year that was all brand new to me, and now I realize just how important that is when we go back and watch film and see that the players are doing exactly what our coaches are telling us that they're going to do, and so when you scout really well, I think it helps tremendously.
Now, your first dip into the rivalry that was Cougars versus Huskies, your thoughts about getting a win in Seattle against the Huskies wearing a Cougar uniform, especially being from that side of the state?
Yeah, no, that was awesome. We had a lot of fans out there too, which made it, even better. And I think getting a win on their home court, especially after, we lost here, was even better.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I know we've had some people ask how you're doing health-wise. Obviously, things you look fantastic the last couple of games. How you feeling out there?
I feel a lot better. I think the time off really helped my knee kind of, heal, and so I'm not feeling as much pain as I was before, which is awesome, and I'm able to play without really thinking about it.
Do you like hitting a three better, or do you like getting around someone in a wide open layup better?
Well, I mean, probably layup.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always been more of an inside game person, but I think getting out to the 3-point line is definitely something that I'm going to need to start doing for sure.
Again, Beyonce B joining us here from Zeppo, so happy to have you with us again. It is part of your Cougar Basketball Hour. Again, Beyonce, 12 points, 10 rebounds in the win against the Huskies. What was the scout going in against the Dogs, and then did you think that you guys were able to kind of complete that over the course of the basketball game on Sunday?
Yeah, I think we did pretty well. First, quarter was pretty messy for us, but I think that was just mainly our mistakes on defense and then some turnovers on offense. But after we got settled in, I think we kept them off the 3-point line pretty well, which was a big key for us. And then we offensively wanted to take it to them inside and take advantage of some of their smaller guards that would be guarding us. So I think we did well in the post there.
Again, visiting with Beyonce B. It's the Cougar Basketball Hour. We'll have one more segment with her and then have Kamie come on back up here. Glad to have you with us. It is the Cougar Basketball Hour from Zeppos. Again, we'll talk about the Huskies win. We'll talk more with Beyonce. We'll talk more with the coach. But back in a bit, this is Cougar Basketball Hour from Learfield.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain Cold Refreshment made to chill.
2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
You may be eager to break ground on a new outdoor project, but never just start digging. Buried electric and natural gas lines can be anywhere. It's the law to call 811 at least 2 business days before you dig. Spray paint white lines showing your dig zone, and a crew will mark the utility lines. Mark accuracy zone is within 2 feet of the mark, so always hand dig to expose the line first. Call 811 before you dig. The service is free for residential customers. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
At Washington State University Pullman, there's always a lot happening, and many activities are open to the community. It can be tough to know what's going on, where it's happening, and where you can park. But all of us at the Brailsford WSU Visitor Center love to help people find the answers. We keep a list of events, and I'll let you in on a secret. There's plenty of public parking on campus. You just need to know where to look. There's a new campus parking map to make it even easier, and if you need a temporary permit, we can help you with that too. We are here to connect community and campus at the Brailsford WSU Visitor Center on the corner of Main and Spring Streets near downtown Pullman.
Whether you're looking to get away or you're ready to find your way back home, the best way to travel is with Alaska Airlines and the Pullman-Moscow Regional Airport. When you fly PUW, you're on an Embraer 175 jet with economy, first class, and premium seating. Multiple flights most days to Seattle and one direct to Boise. And with a new runway and instrument approach, PUW and Alaska Air get you there reliably. Use alaskaair.com and PUW, the Pullman-Moscow Regional Airport. Close, convenient, and connected.
Welcome you back again. Cougar Basketball Hour from Zeppos. What a special week it has been for Washington State University basketball. The Cougar men knock off USC Wednesday. The big win over the top 10 Arizona Wildcats at home on Saturday. We get a win over the Huskies yesterday in Seattle. You ready to be back at Beasley, Beyonce? It's been a while since we played a game at Beasley Coliseum.
Yeah, it has. I'm excited to be back.
It's going to be fun. We'll be back again Friday and Sunday for matchups against the Arizona schools. Again, visiting with grad transfer Beyonce B. Washougal, Washington is where you grew up. Talk about basketball and high school basketball in Washougal and just what it was like to play basketball in kind of a small town in Washington State.
Yeah, no, definitely a small town, but it was really fun. I grew up, having teammates. We kind of played in a small little AAU group for a while, and so we all grew up and played together, and then got to win that state championship my senior year, which was awesome, something we had worked for a long time. And then also just getting to play with my sister and my 2 cousins too. It was just really family, like small town basketball was a lot of fun for me.
So the folks that are here, the folks that are listening on the radio, we've talked about your sister. Your sister, you still live with her. She's playing for the University of Idaho right now. How many years separation is there between you and your sister?
2 years.
2 years? Mm-hmm. And so you're able to play with her in high school. And did you rough on her? Were you nice to her? What were you like as a teammate to the little sister?
I was pretty nice, I'd say.
Okay.
We've always gotten along, so yeah. I mean, I was just trying to encourage them as they were, underclassmen, obviously, and really needed them, to get that state championship.
What was it like being recruited out of Washougal? Did you get a lot of recruiting? We did have a question here. Did WSU recruit you out of high school? Of course, Kamie wasn't here when you were coming out of high school, or maybe she was. I can't remember. But in any case, did WSU recruit you? And what was the recruiting process like going from Washougal to then playing collegiate basketball as a star player?
Yeah, honestly, I was I was new to the recruiting, like how that worked. Nobody really in our area had gone through that, had gone to college for basketball. So that was something that was new for me. I'd say it started probably sophomore year of high school, and that's when I really realized that I was able to play at that level. So I was really heavily recruited by a lot of mid-majors, kind of all over the place. And I think, no, WSU did not recruit me out of high school. I think the one Power 5 I did get was Colorado, who came in pretty late in my recruiting process. But a lot of mid-majors around here, and that's kind of how I ended up at Idaho. So, yeah.
What was your best memory at the University of Idaho? I know obviously this is the Cougar Basketball Hour, and we'll talk about the Cougar Basketball, but obviously such a successful career over across the border. Do you have a favorite memory of your playing time over in Moscow?
I mean, there's a lot of big wins that stick out to me, but I'd say just the chance to get to play with my sister again and my cousin is, didn't see that coming when I committed. Didn't know we'd get to play with each other again, so that was pretty special for me.
As you transfer to Washington State and now part of the Pac-12 Conference and knowing you're going up against the likes of Stanford, coming up here this weekend, it's Arizona and Arizona State. Following weekend, we're going on the road to take on two top teams in USC and UCLA. Just the thought of going up against these not only premier teams in the conference, but top 10 teams in the country. Is that a little bit different for you, and just your thought process of now in this conference and what it is on a night in, night out basis in this conference?
Yeah, it's very different from, where I've been the last 4 years. Just getting to play against that competition is, I didn't see that coming, and that's really cool for me is, I've been watching these teams since I am from the Northwest, just keeping up with Pac-12, and now getting to play against them is really cool.
You want to sprout any dirt on any of your new teammates? Do you got any good stories? You got who's the best storyteller on the team?
Probably Jessica Clark.
Jessica Clark. And I think I heard last week she's the best singer. Would you concur with that as well? Is Jessica the best singer? Are you in that running, or are you on the stage at least?
I don't know. I'd give myself top 5 singer.
Okay.
Yeah. Jess is also really good at trivia, but I don't know about the singing. I'd say, who would I get? Charlize is pretty good at singing, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
You, when you get ready for a game, do you have a Beyonce B, this is my game time mode, this is what I do to get ready for a game?
I mean, I kind of I don't really have a huge routine. I do say like an athlete's prayer before every game, but that's really my only, I guess, superstition or routine that I do before every game.
Have you had a favorite road trip so far as a Cougar, and is there a road trip that you're looking forward to taking with Washington State?
I'm looking forward to going to USC and UCLA. I've just never been there, and those are two really tough teams, back to back. So I think that's the trip I'm most excited for.
All right, Beyonce B, everybody. How about her game against the Huskies on Sunday? Double-double, 12 points, 10 rebounds. Looking forward to watching you throughout the Pac-12 season, and thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Again, Beyonce B, we'll be back. More of the Cougar Basketball Hour with the head coach, Kamie Ethridge, next. It's a Cougar Basketball Hour from Zeppo's on Learfield.
It's college football's latest tradition. It's fierce, glorious, and ridiculously delicious. It's the Nom Nom Snack Bowl Flyaway. Just download the Nom Nom app to enter the competition. Play all season long to score free snacks and tasty tailgate treats. One lucky champion will win a free trip for 2 to the Pac-12 championship game in Las Vegas, Nevada. Go Cougs! Ready for a snack down? Download the Nom Nom app to find out. Nom Nom. Life in the snack lane.
A lot goes into Washington State athletes reaching peak performance for game day, including the right nutrition. At Wilbur Ellis, we know that healthy crop performance requires the same attention to nutrition as an athlete. That's why we use benchmark data points to maximize crop productivity through nutrient efficiency. For 100 years, family-owned Wilbur Ellis has been partnering with Washington's farmers to grow healthier crops. That is the winning ag experience for Cougar Nation, locally provided by Wilbur Ellis.
Close, convenient, connected. The Pullman-Moscow Regional Airport and Alaska Air get you where you want to go. And with Alaska's One World Alliance, that's just about anywhere. With multiple flights to Seattle most days, plus one to Boise, that's another reason to use PUW to get you home. By the time you're winding your way through Washtenaw on 26 or Winchester on 95, you'll be in Seattle or Boise. Save on gas, higher parking fees, and your time. Fly PUW, the Pullman-Moscow Regional Airport, your Cougar and Alaska hometown airport.
When you're out driving around the Palouse, be sure to stop by Tick Clock Drug in Colfax. Family owned and operated, they're your one-stop shop for pharmacy, healthcare, apparel, cards, home decor, and gifts for all ages. And for all your printing needs, be sure Cougar Graphics is the place to call. When it comes to paper, Cougar Graphics can print it. Tick Clock Drug and Cougar Graphics on Main Street in Colfax.
Well, back here again to Zeppo's Cougar Basketball Hour. Again, Steve Grubbs with the head coach of Washington State University Basketball, Kamie Ethridge. We'll get to some questions from the crowd here in a little bit. If you've got a few last-minute questions, you can get them in here before our last break, and we will try to get them to Kamie. Did have one, Coach. We just knocked off a rival in the Washington Huskies. Just in your short amount of time at Washington State, how do you appreciate the rivalry with the Huskies and how big that win is compared to, obviously, the other side of it that we felt earlier this season?
Well, again, those first couple of years, we didn't have a lot of success anywhere except the Apple Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we
done well
kind
against
of have done well. The last 2 years we've split with them, so I'm uneasy about that. Clearly, you know, they're a good team. Tina's doing a great job there. She's getting her kinds of kids in that program. Good defensive team. And, you know, they recruit well. They got a big brand, and they can recruit, and they've got money, and they've got, you know, they're great. They've got NIL stuff, and they can really recruit, so because of that. So they have a lot of advantages built in, but quite frankly, just like who we are, I love beating teams like that. I love competing against them. I love taking little rugrats, even though they're not rugrats. They're really great competitive players and young people that just play with a chip on their shoulder, typical Cougs that can go into those environments and succeed and win. And, you know, I'll take our kids any day of the week.
Did you have, this is a question, do you have a rival high school, college when your playing career that you more than anything you wanted to beat them back when you were playing? Was there a rival either at the University of Texas or maybe even back in high school that you just, it kind of boiled your blood a little bit when you went up against them?
Well, I know, you know, back in it was Southwest Conference then, so not even Big 12 when I was playing, but I never lost a conference game my entire 4 years at Texas. So
how about that?
A&M might want to be a rival, you know, Texas Tech, but we never lost a game during that. You know, back then, Louisiana Tech was a really good program. Tennessee was coming along and really good. You know, again, I lost 9 games in my college career. So and
so the other people, it was the other side wanting to beat you, is what it was, right?
There's a lot of hostility built up to try to beat us, but there's no question. Rivalries are great. You know, in our league right now, just the pack is amazing. You know, the competition and the respect I think that the coaches have for one another in the programs that they're building. You know, if you beat someone in this league, you're doing something.
No doubt about that. So many top 10 teams, and we'll get to that a little bit in our final segment when we preview the upcoming weekend with Arizona and Arizona State. You ready for a few questions here?
I can do it.
All right. We've had a couple on this, and I don't know if you know the answer on this, but do you know when AT will be back? And then if so, how does that change the dynamic at all?
I don't think I know. I haven't heard. She has a doctor's appointment this week. I just think it's going to take a little bit of time once she's cleared to kind of gradually build herself back up. So I would say by the end of the month is maybe our best scenario.
Okay.
And I don't worry about bringing her back into that. We need more ball handlers. I love the fact that, I got to get Kira. Kira's the one I really want to continue to get more minutes from because I do think she's going to help us in the long run. But we're 10 deep. We're 11 deep. I like our team.
You talked about the team finding its identity as having 4 or 5 double-digit scorers. Is that what you expected before the season?
I thought we would be that better than ever. I thought it was a done deal. B would walk on the floor and be a double-double a night. I thought Bella would be a double-double. I thought, Charlize has shown opportunities to be a double-double, and it's hard to do. And that's not putting pressure on those guys, but I thought those 3 in particular would be really, really solid for us. And I think they're just kind of now finding their footing. In a support role, I think the others are being really, really solid. I mean, maybe better than I thought they would. LA with her potential, AT with hers, Jenna and Kira coming off the bench, Tara playing at a high level. Clearly, I just think we've got weapons besides those 3 big ones that I think can produce every single night for us. So I thought we would. Again, I want to flirt. We had 72 points. I want to flirt with 80. If we can flirt with 80 points a game, we're going to win a lot of conference games.
No doubt about that. Did I have a question? What part of coaching do you like the best? Is it the games? Is it the practice? Is it the recruiting? Is it the scouting? What part of coaching do you enjoy the best?
I think it is the journey of it all. It's really the process. I mean, nothing is just like. It's just like a player. They probably, when you're in June, don't wake up and go, gosh, I can't wait to go to the gym. I mean, it's more like, oh, my gosh, I got to go put in 3 hours today. And it's the heart of but doing things hard and accomplishing things hard and doing it with people you love and having support to be able to chase after dreams and becoming better at things, just that journey of being that. And I think for a coach, you want to build something. You want to take a group, 15 individuals or whatever that looks like, and try to get them all on the same page and just become this thing that's bigger than any one person. But there's not a specific point in that I just go, yeah, I love that. I mean, practice is great. Games are great, even though they're stressful. Winning or losing is heartbreaking or the most joyful thing ever, which is terrible, to live on that and probably a bad perspective. But it's because you invest so much and you give so much and you love it that, you just want success for the people and you want them to learn the right things so that they can, have continued success.
What were some of your role models when you were playing?
Well, I grew up, my sister was a year older than me, and she was someone that played, so I followed her around. There was a small school, Wayland Baptist, was a really good, successful women's basketball program up in Plainview, Texas. It's crazy. And actually, they're kind of in the Hall of Fame because of the things they did early on. And we went to their camp, so there were a lot of really successful high school teams and maybe a couple of college teams that we went to their camps and just saw these college athletes and just thought, wow. I don't think I ever thought could be that until I was like in high school. Mm-hmm. But Jody Conrad was a great role model. Obviously my sister, I followed her to Texas. But I think I was around some incredible role models when I was at the University of Texas, from Donna Lopiano, who was our athletic director, and they were knocking down doors to let women play in sports and be validated in their pursuit of becoming great in sports and chasing greatness. So really fortunate to have gone to that university.
Did I have a question? Does anything happen in February when New Zealand needs to qualify for the Olympics?
Yes, it does.
Yeah?
Yes, it does. So to be determined what's got to happen there, but we'll keep you guys informed with that.
Okay. And then had a question here from the front row, and if you answer right, maybe you get a free one. What's your favorite dessert?
I know you can tell I'm a dessert person because I'm a little chubby in the middle, and all that part. I kind of like, kind of bundt cakes. Do y'all like those cupcakes? I love those, but I treat our players almost all the time to dessert other than kind of game night after we ate at an Italian place and just overeat sometimes on game nights, and we don't do it then. But we make sure our players get fed some good desserts as we go. But creme brulee. I mean, there's just a lot of them that I like.
Those are good
ones. Usually it involves a little bit of cake and a little bit of ice cream, though, I think.
Those are good answers.
And I might add, now I don't remember what I was going to add, but our team always comes over to the house, and I make a mean banana pudding. And then the brownies they get to and all of that. So, but anyway, that's kind of a good jumping off point.
You're a good dessert person.
I'm a good dessert. I'm a good eater. I eat well.
Well, as do I. All right, we'll take one more break here. When we come back, we'll visit with Kamie about the upcoming weekend and what's going on in the Pac-12 Conference. We'll continue on the Cougar Basketball Hour from Zappos from Learfield.
Now, I like my fantasy league and all, but it won't let me bet the spread on game day. So once my lineup's set, I head straight to Turf Club Sportsbook in Northern Quest for real sports betting and wall-to-wall HD TVs right off the casino floor. Heck, I can even place bets from my phone while I'm there with their new mobile app. That's another thing my fantasy league can't do. Turf Club Sportsbook, the ultimate game changer, only at Northern Quest.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through! Yeah.
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
In 2004, Pullman Regional Hospital opened its facility on Bishop Boulevard. It became a model of what a community hospital could be. Word got out about the extraordinary care people were getting, and services were added so that local residents no longer needed to travel to Spokane for many specialized services. Today, 18 years later, the demand has grown, and Pullman Regional Hospital is working to meet these new challenges. Learn more at pullmanregional.org. Pullman Regional Hospital. Your hospital.
Whether you're looking to get away or you're ready to find your way back home, the best way to travel is with Alaska Airlines and the Pullman-Moscow Regional Airport. When you fly PUW, you're on an Embraer 175 jet with economy, first class, and premium seating. Multiple flights most days to Seattle and one direct to Boise. And with a new runway and instrument approach, PUW and Alaska Air get you there reliably. Use alaskaair.com and PUW, the Pullman-Moscow Regional Airport. Close, convenient, and connected.
Well, it is the Cougar Basketball Hour. We're coming to you live from Zeppo, so happy to have you with us. Again, the Cougars back in action Friday night. They will take on the Arizona State Sun Devils, 7 o'clock on Friday, and then Sunday at noon. We would love to see you out at Beasley Coliseum. And Coach, what a weekend it was in the Pac-12 Conference. Of course, we got the big win over the Washington Huskies. You had 4 top 10 teams squaring off against one another on Sunday as well. Colorado, a big win over Stanford. Your thoughts maybe on that one as far as 2 of the top 10 teams in this conference are concerned?
Well, I think Colorado is a team that has the physicality and the size to compete at the highest levels. I mean, they really have proven, they've proven to have all the pieces in place, and they can combat with their big kid inside, 6'5", 6'6". Bonlay, she can match up with the bigs of Stanford and almost overpower them at times. And I think that is something that might be a problem for Stanford. But, what I would say the most impressive thing going on, and it continues to be a challenge for us, not for the people in this room, but for our community. They had 10,000 people in their stands at Colorado. I think USC had over 10,000 people in the stands. I think UCLA, when they hosted USC, had a sellout of 13,000 or 12,000 or something like that. The magnitude of fan support, Utah has been selling out like crazy. Those top 4, those top 5 programs in our league right now are on a national scale. The excitement around their program and people getting into the stands is everything to their success. It's something that could parlay us into more success, to create a better environment, to get 3,000 or 4,000 or 5,000 people in our environment would just rock that place, and it would make us pretty unbeatable at home. So that continues to be, we want to put a good product on the floor. I think we are. For us to compete with those guys, it's going to take our community to get behind us and support that.
Come on out and join us again Friday night, and on Sunday, if you can't make it, find somebody to take your place. Let people know, hey, Washington State's playing Friday night. Hey, Washington State's playing Sunday. Come on out and see them. Arizona State, a team, and we talked about this a little bit in our post-game show, they're a team searching for a win. They're a team that's struggling a little bit right now, but sometimes desperate teams are difficult to face, and they're going to be a desperate bunch when they come in Friday night.
We talk about it all the time, like we just won, so are we going to handle success well? Are we going to come in hungry? Are we understanding just how desperate Arizona State's going to be and knowing that they've just got to scratch and claw to get a win? We're not the most intimidating group. We might, we don't look the part sometimes. I think most teams come in and go, we can handle these guys no matter what our record is or no matter, how much success we've had. I think we don't look that part, but I really like the steps our team has taken to, be better in practice on a consistent basis, on energy and communicating, and overall just showing up and being great on a day-to-day basis and taking that to the next level of being consistent on the basketball court. So we've got to match their intensity. We've got to outdo their intensity, quite frankly. We have a lot to play for. We're trying to survive this league as much as anybody else, and we're trying to get to that postseason and the NCAA tournament. So this is a must-win. It really is. We got to beat Arizona State. We got to beat Arizona when they walk in here on Sunday.
Yeah, and that takes me to my next question. I know coaches, I know teams, I know that 98%, if not 100%, is concentrating on Arizona State right now, but Arizona does follow up on Sunday, and we won't be back here before next Sunday. A team that their last 4 games have all been one-possession games. They played Colorado and Utah, both to one-possession games, ended up splitting last weekend. 2 one-possession games this weekend, but they lose both on the road against Oregon and Oregon State. So, again, a team that could have been 4-0. They could have been 0-4. They ended up, I think it was 1-3, but a team that obviously can probably line up and play with anybody in the conference, and at the same time, you expect a close game between you and Arizona because that's all they've been doing here recently.
Yeah, they're just unique. They're more unique than anybody in our league, so it's hard to practice against them. It's kind of like Auburn. Yeah. Auburn was so aggressive and so much in your face and denying all over the place that, our practice guys can't simulate that. We can't practice against that, and it kind of, they just have that factor. She's got a good team. They're undersized for the most part, but they just scrappy and they play unbelievably hard, and they play that unique style. They turn you over, and when you turn the ball over, you put anyone in a position to beat you. So can we handle their pressure? Can we not turn it over? If we can manage our turnovers, we give ourselves a chance to win. But that's no different than any game that we play. We've done a better in our wins. We don't turn the ball over. In our losses, we turn it over. So it's a big step for our ball handling. All of us, our guards in particular, but certainly everybody on the floor. So Arizona's impressive for what they've lost and how much turnover they've had to have this kind of team. They're competing really well. Adia does a great job. But, again, we're at home, and we got to have great support, and we got to find a way to win that game.
All right, we owe our network affiliate one more break. We'll take that break and then come back and have the final couple minutes with the show with the Cougar Basketball Hour with Kamie Ethridge. We'll wrap it up when we come back to Zeppo's. It's next, your Cougar Basketball Hour from Learfield.
With the WSU debit card from Giza, it's hard to tell who's supporting who. When the Coug fans use their WSU card, they show off their Coug pride, and donations are made back to Cougar Athletics. But the card supports the Coug fan with big savings by helping them earn 7% APY with Smart Plus checking. So does the card support the Coug fan, or does the Coug fan support the card? It doesn't matter. All that matters is that the WSU card supports Cougar Athletics and your wallet at the same time. Get your WSU card at Giza.com.
Checking account transaction requirements, terms and conditions apply. Checking account annual percent yields range from 0.01 to 7% depending on balance. Minimum balance to obtain APY ranges from $0 to $5,000.
Hampton in Pullman is just a short drive from the WSU campus. Centrally located to restaurants and shopping, they've got you covered for all your lodging needs. With their spacious rooms, famous Hampton waffles, a cozy outdoor patio, a gift shop for all your Cougar gear needs, and the friendliest staff in town to make you feel right at home. Visit HamptonByHilton.com to reserve a room for your next trip to the Palouse. Coug owned and Coug managed. It matters where you stay. Hampton in Pullman, Hilton for the stay.
Close, convenient, connected. The Pullman Moscow Regional Airport and Alaska Air get you where you want to go. And with Alaska's One World Alliance, that's just about anywhere. With multiple flights to Seattle most days, plus one to Boise, that's another reason to use PUW to get you home. By the time you're winding your way through Washtenaw on 26 or Winchester on 95, you'll be in Seattle or Boise. Save on gas, higher parking fees, and your time. Fly PUW, the Pullman Moscow Regional Airport, your Cougar and Alaska hometown airport.
When you're traveling on to Palouse, make sure you stop in Colfax. Colfax is home to great businesses like Pomeroy Grain Growers. For all your crop marketing needs, contact Brian or Eric. You're in good hands at Pomeroy Grain Growers. If you're considering assisted living needs, consider the Courtyard at Colfax, where it's always a wonderful way to live. And for all your gift-giving needs, Tick Clock Drug has the best selection on the Palouse.
Welcome back. Final few minutes of the show. Again, our second edition of the Cougar Basketball Hour during the season with head coach of Cougar Basketball, Kamie Ethridge. Had some people ask me, do you think you can fill an hour? And I said, I can fill an hour talking Cougar athletics by myself. You add Kamie, and yeah, we can fill an hour. We'll be great. We'll be fantastic. Again, coming off a 72-59 victory over the Washington Huskies. You mentioned Friday and Sunday, the matchups against the Arizona State Sun Devils and the Arizona Wildcats. What is the thing that you're looking for the most out of your team this weekend as we return to Beasley?
Well, I think it's that concept. Will we prepare well when we've come off a win? And then, just 40 minutes, can we get a consistent effort? Can we not just, play to the level? Quite frankly, it's a team that we should beat, Arizona State. They're good. They're athletic. They're talented. They can beat you one-on-one. But, our basketball team-wise, we should walk on that court and just continue to improve ourselves on the offensive end and be great consistently on the defensive end. We need to take steps every time we step on the floor to become a better team. I want to see that on that night. And then you respond the right way because you got to turn around and you got to find a win, 2 days later. So that back-to-back is always difficult. And it's the first time we've got it going right now, and we've got to do a good job of handling that.
Again, back at Beasley, we urge everybody to come out and join us Friday night at 7 o'clock against the Arizona State Sun Devils, Sunday at noon, and just being back at Beasley and to try and protect home court, because that's going to really pay huge dividends as far as where you go, as far as an NCAA tournament resume is concerned, as far as you are with your standings. Protecting home court's going to be huge this season in this conference, isn't it?
I think it is. I think we've got to find, those are the ones. Everybody's just thinking that that's your advantage when you're playing at home. And it is. It's a hard place to travel to. This isn't an easy trip for anybody, playing UW and us, two quality opponents. But we've got to treat this like this is our chance to handle ourselves at home. We haven't played in front of our fans in a month. This should feel good for us. So we got to put on a good show, and we got to get a lot of fans out to support it.
Looking forward to it. Again, congratulations, Coach, on a huge win yesterday, 72-59 over the Huskies. Everybody that's here at Zeppos, we thank you for coming out as well.
Thanks, B. You're awesome.
And Beyonce B, absolutely, on with us for a couple of segments. She is awesome. I love all your newcomers. Your newcomers are awesome, aren't
we
they?
May have to get some freshmen in here the next. I can't do one at a time. They got to come in as pairs because they're too scared.
All right, well, we'll get them on. We'll get them on as the season goes along. Coach, as always, thanks for the time. Congrats on the win, and good luck this weekend.
Thanks, everybody. Go Cougs.
Well, we'll talk to you again 6:40. The pregame show Friday night, 7 o'clock is going to be your tip-off time. The Cougars take on the Arizona State Sun Devils. And then on Sunday, 12 o'clock noon, the Arizona Wildcats coming to town. The Cougars with a win over the Washington Huskies yesterday, 72-59. Boy, doesn't that sound good to say? Let's say it one more time. Cougars beat the Huskies in Seattle and beat the Huskies and sing the fight song, 72-59. That's been your Cougar Basketball Hour. We thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next week, 6 until 7. Until then, for Kamie and the entire gang of Zeppos, this has been the Cougar Basketball Hour from Learfield.
You've been listening to the Cougar Basketball Hour on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield. Tonight's show has been brought to you by